Hey Triangle Lax Films, welcome to the Week 5 Top 10 presented by Crank Shooter. Week 5 brought the Triangle area a few upsets and surprising wins that have caused some shifts in the top 10. Let's not waste any time and jump right into our girls' top 10. At number 10, we have Holly Springs. Holly Springs returns to the top 10 after a 2-week hiatus. The Hawks have a 5-3 record after a tough loss to Apex in Week 5. This week, Holly Springs has 3 conference games against Fuquay Varina, Cape Fear, and Garner. Moving on to number 9, we have Green Hope. To this point in the season, Green Hope has compiled a 5-3 record. Last week, they topped Wakefield 13-10. This week, they will play a much improved Riverside and Cary teams and will have a rematch against Panther Creek, a game they lost by 1 goal earlier in the season. At number 8, we have Cary Academy. The Chargers move up to the number 8 this week after splitting their games last week to improve to 3-1 on the season. This week, the Chargers will have their first top 10 matchup against Ravenscroft. It's a big opportunity for CA to put their name on the map. At number 7 is Broughton. Broughton holds on to the number 7 spot after convincing wins over then number 8 Panther Creek and Millbrook. With the wins, the Capitals improved to 6-2 on the season. This week, the Capitals will play a surging Heritage team and Enloe. At number 6 is Durham Academy. Durham Academy won their 3rd game in a row against Greensboro Day to improve to 4-1 on the season. This week, the Cavaliers will travel to Charlotte Country Day on Thursday. At number 5 is Apex. After splitting conference games in Week 5, the Cougars sit at 8-2 on the season. They were able to best Holly Springs but were unable to avenge their earlier loss to Middle Creek. This week, Apex will play Terry Sanford and crosstown rival Apex Friendship. At number 4 is Middle Creek. Middle Creek improved to 10-1 in Week 5 after wins over Cape Fear and Apex. The Mustangs will look to stay perfect in conference when they play Apex Friendship and Cape Fear in Week 6. At number 3 is East Chapel Hill. The Wildcats were off in Week 5 but have compiled a 6-2 record so far this year. This week, East has a full slate of games against Northwood, Chapel Hill, and a big midweek matchup against Pinecrest. At number 2 is Ravenscroft. Week 5 saw the Ravens take their first loss, a 1-goal loss to Charlotte Latin, and win twice to bring their record to 9-1 on the season. This week, Ravenscroft will play 2 conference games against St. Mary's and number 8 Cary Academy. At number 1 is Cardinal Gibbons. The defending state champs cruised to 2 conference wins in Week 5 to improve to 8-3 on the season. This week, the Crusaders will play Sanderson in another conference matchup. Now, let's pause for a break from our sponsor, Crank Shooter. The Triangle Lax Top 10 is brought to you by Crank Shooter. Visit crankshooter.com and use the promo code TRIANGLE to get 5% off any order $50 or more. That's promo code TRIANGLE at crankshooter.com. At number 10 are the Chapel Hill Tigers. Chapel Hill has quietly started the season off to a 5-0 start and is the only undefeated team in the Triangle. The Tigers were on spring break last week, but in Week 6 will face off against Carborough, Southern Alamance, and Riverside. At number 9 is Heritage. The Huskies continue to march along on their 2019 campaign. After wins over Roseville and Green Hope, Heritage improved to 7-2 on the season. This week, they face Wake Forest and Corinth Holders. At number 8 is Ravenscroft. The Ravenscroft record stands at 8-2 after a 2-1 Week 5. Ravenscroft beat Cary Christian and NRCA before losing to Providence Day. Week 6 brings a rivalry matchup against Durham Academy. At number 7 is Leesville. Leesville sits at 7-4 after splitting games against Green Hope and Cardinal Gibbons. This week, the Pride will play Sanderson and Millbrook. At number 6 is East Chapel Hill. The Wildcats were off in Week 5 and sit at 5-1 on the season. Week 6 has East hosting Carborough and Wilmington's Laney High School. At number 5 is Broughton. Broughton has an 8-2 record after beating Millbrook and Athens Drive in Week 5. This week, the Capitals will play Southeast and Enloe in Cap 7 action. At number 4 is Apex. The Cougars drop a spot to number 4 after going 1-2 in Week 5. Apex beat Holly Springs before losing to Middle Creek and Virginia's St. Christopher's. This week, Apex will play Apex Friendship and South Carolina's Oceanside Collegiate. At number 3 is Wakefield. Wakefield moves up a spot after improving to 7-1 with wins over Wake Forest and defending Ohio State champion St. Francis de Sales. This week, the Wolverines play Northwood and Rolesville. A special congratulations goes out to senior Kevin Ritter, who hit the 300-point mark in the de Sales game. At number 2 is Cardinal Gibbons. Cardinal Gibbons is on an 8-game win streak after an undefeated 3-0 Week 5. The Crusaders got wins over Enloe, Leesville, and DC Power Good Counsel. This week, Gibbons will be on the road at Sanderson and Virginia's St. Christopher. Holding at 1 is Middle Creek. The Mustangs improved to 10-1 on the season after wins against Cape Fear and then number 3 Apex. This week, Middle Creek plays Apex Friendship before traveling to Charlotte to play in the Champions Challenge against defending 3A champ Weddington. That wraps up the Week 5 Top 10 for Triangle Lax presented to you by Crank Shooter. Stay tuned for some big matchups this week and how they unfold as we continue to march along the 2019 season. Thanks everyone for supporting us, and we'll see you next week.